So, this culture of peace will not come just like that. It's a generational work. It's not like one day slogan, you all shout and go back home. That's not going to work. It's a generational work. This is very important for all of us, that we create a culture of peace. When I say a culture of peace, every transaction that human beings have, somebody gains, somebody loses. Yes or no? In every transaction, whether it's within the family, in the community, in the larger situations in the country or among nations, whatever you do, always someone loses, someone gains a little bit. How to go through these transactions without making them frictious or conflict? This has to come within every one of us, that when I lose, I don't want to beat you. I have some other way of settling it. This doesn't mean I will simply lose. No, there are other ways to fight. There are other ways to fight than getting physical with you, isn't it? So, this culture of peace will not come just like that. This culture of peace needs to be… it's a generational work. It's not like one day slogan, you all shout and go back home. That's not going to work. It's a generational work. It's about how we bring up our children, it's about how we behave on the street, how we interact with each other. On all levels, we create a culture of peace. People should understand there is a way of dealing with things peacefully. Mahatma is a representative of this, that he found peaceful solutions for very violent problems. Not only in India, using his inspiration, Nelson Mandela in South Africa, Martin Luther King in United States, the entire movement there, very violent problems, but peaceful solutions were found. This is important if all of us want to exist. Why I'm saying this is, there was a time when the only weapon we could pick up was a stick. The stick became a sword, the sword became an arrow became a gun has become a bomb has become a super kind of bomb. Once this kind of destructive capabilities we have, it's extremely important that we have a culture of peace within us, because it's not just going to be a broken bone, I don't know how you got it. If you took a stick, it would be just a broken bone. Took a sword, just one man died. But if you took a nuclear bomb, now entire civilizations can go. So this has become extremely important now, that there is a culture of peace within me and around me. This is not going to come with slogans, this is not going to come with politics. This is a generational work that all of us need to work for, that we bring this into our lives, no matter what is the loss that we go through, we learn to conduct it in a certain way. See, whenever something happens to us that we think is injustice, we want to beat somebody. This is very important, that you learn to swallow injustice and work for justice. You don't try to fix injustice right there on the street. To bring a culture of peace is not one day's work. All of us need to work upon that. First of all, we should know how to be peaceful. So what you call as peace is a certain kind of chemistry. What you call as joy is another kind of chemistry. What you call as ecstasy is another kind of chemistry. Agony is one kind of chemistry, misery another kind of chemistry, stress, tension, whatever you go through are different levels of chemistry. Now, this human body is the most sophisticated and complex chemical factory on the planet. Do you agree with me? Only problem is you're a lousy manager. So please understand this, the violence is not in the society, the violence is within us. What have we done about that? This is what inner engineering means, that you engineer yourself the way you want to be. Nobody can take you where they want. If somebody else can decide what should happen within you right now, You're an absolute slave, isn't it? Hello? Hello? You don't like it? See, if I decide how you should dress, how you should sit, what you should eat, you will say this is slavery, isn't it? But if I decide right now whether you can be happy or unhappy, peaceful or violent within yourself, if I'm going to decide this, are you not in slavery? Worst kind of slavery, isn't it? That what happens within you, I will decide. This is what you're allowing in your life. You're allowing this to happen to you, that somebody can decide what happens within you. If you don't take charge of this, you will live a life of a slave. When you live a life of a slave, you will always feel life is unjust to you. When you feel it's unjust, violence is a natural consequence of that. A yogi was passing by in your Nagaluru. A few people gathered and abused him in every possible way they can abuse him. He listened to all the abuse very attentively, not ignoring them, very attentively. Then he said, I have an event in Pratima college. In the evening, I'll come the same way. If you have something more to say, you can tell me at that time. These are the kind of people, they will say 100 things. If you say one thing, they will beat you. They're just waiting for that. But he said, he heard all the worst kind of abuse, and then he said, in the evening I'll come back if you're ready for more. Now what do you do with this man? Because this man is like this not because he's a coward. He is like this because he's decided how to be in his life. He's decided he lives peacefully and joyfully. You pull him whichever way you want, he won't come your way, he'll go only where he wants to go. An intelligent man or no? Huh? Just you must look at yourself and see. Anybody can drag you whichever way they want, isn't it? One word, just one word, they can drag you. This freedom, every human being, especially the youth of this country, must earn, that nobody can decide how you are within yourself and what you will do with your life. You decide. Otherwise, you will live a life of a slave. When you live like a slave, at some point your frustration will burst out as violence.